What's happening everyone, my name is RedYato, welcome back to Weeb. Today I'm going to be discussing my top 5 video games of all time and why I love them so much. I know that here on Diet Weeb we're typically an anime channel, but we also want to make videos talking about some of our other interests. That being said, I've been playing video games all my life and it's one of my greatest passions, so I'd love to talk about it. But before we get into it, make sure to slap that subscribe button and smack that notification bell so you don't miss any of our future content. Without further delay, let's just jump into it! Here's a question for you. What happens when you combine the never-ending hordes of zombies from Left 4 Dead, the comboing and movement of a Tony Hawk skating game, and a sense of humor reminiscent of Deadpool? My number 5 entry, Sunset Overdrive. Released on the Xbox One in October of 2014 and later for PC in November of 2018, Sunset Overdrive is a fast-paced zombie shooter platformer where you combo while running, grinding rails, bouncing off of objects, and more, all while killing zombies and causing the maximum amount of destruction possible. The best part about this game is how addictive the gameplay can be once you really get into it. The more powers and abilities you unlock, the easier it gets to string combos together and rack up damage multipliers. The higher the damage multiplier, the greater the destruction. Eventually, you'll be blasting through hordes of zombies with ease, all while pulling some high-level Rodney Mullen-ass wombo combos. This game isn't substantial in any other way besides being pure and unbridled fun. I remember I stayed up all night playing this game when I first picked it up until I beat it, similar to how I binged Food Wars in one night when I first watched it. The next title is possibly the least well known on this entire list. Star Ocean Till the End of Time is a real-time RPG style game on the PS2 back in the era of long-running RPGs being played across multiple discs. A lot of you may not have heard of Star Ocean, and that's because it's one of those RPG franchises that kind of got lost to time. The series started off with a Japan exclusive game for the Super Famicom known simply as Star Ocean, and since then has had plenty of sequels and even a mobile game. Till the End of Time has a futuristic setting of traveling to other planets via spaceship and follows the main character, Fate. One aspect of Star Ocean that pulled me in more than other RPGs was its creation system. Once you reach a specific part of the game, you can create workshops and have characters that are recruited from different parts of the story work together to create some items that are only attainable through these methods. The combat system shines here as well, where anytime you encounter an enemy, you're teleported to a battlefield where you can strategize your characters and battle the enemies in real time, Wild Arms style. It can be annoying having to wait for the battle to initiate every single time when grinding for levels, but I found the settings and enemies varied enough so that it doesn't subtract too much from the experience. The final stages of the game are immensely fun though, when you're able to spam some of the most powerful attacks and use Dimension Door over and over and over again and you hear Fate say it every single time. It's a great game, highly recommend. On to the third spot. Literally every kid with an Xbox 360 at the launch of the console remembers just how monumental and unprecedented Halo 3 was. From the campaign mode to the multiplayer to the brand new Forge mode where players could create their own levels, the sheer scope and reach of this game was unparalleled for quite some time, and to this day me and my friends fondly reminisce about the good old days playing Griffball, racing mongooses, smashing each other's warthogs off a cliff, playing Team Fiesta in the tiniest spaces possible, hitting each other with different things in Forge when I'm trying to build, goddammit. This was the height of multiplayer for me, and even nowadays when me and the boys drop into Storage Town or something about Among Us, by the way, I haven't played Among Us, that's pretty whack, right? Yeah, Justin has played Among Us, I haven't played Among Us. Justin's cool, I'm not cool. It still doesn't recreate the absolute high I gained from a few rounds of Sky Zombies on Sandbox with the boys. And man, that's only the multiplayer. The campaign had plenty of replay value with the inclusion of finding and activating the skulls to increase the difficulty and add a spin to the gameplay. Along with the multiple difficulties, my brother and I were able to play through the campaign mode several times with a different experience each time. Believe me, you haven't really played Halo until you played Cortana on Legendary. Jackal, sniped, dead. Grunt, boom, grenade, dead. Elite, sword, dead. Sergeant Johnson, yikes, too soon. These last two games changed my entire scope of reality in the best of ways and really cemented gaming as a hobby I'll never stop. My number 2 spot was not only just a fun gaming experience, but it was an amazing story with well-developed characters and amazing narrative set pieces. And let's be honest, how many of you that played Chrono Trigger would watch a Chrono Trigger anime? Everyone? I thought so. Chrono Trigger is the second RPG on this list and arguably one of the greatest of all time. The story follows a voiceless protagonist named Chrono and a large cast of characters as they go to different eras of time before and after an impending apocalypse. Each time period feels so unique and interesting, from the mysterious and high fantasy past of knights and magic to the City in the Cloud style magical interlude that is unfortunately not explored enough to the post-apocalyptic wasteland and Unga Bunga prehistoric world. But the real shining star of Chrono Trigger is the cast of characters and their own self-contained narratives. Luca, Marley, Robo, Glenn, Magus, and Ayla each have a story of their own outside of the main quest line that you can discover and actively shape their future. Each of these characters have inspired some of my fictional characters in my storytelling, whether it be in D&D or other means of creative writing. Also, no spoilers, but when the thing happens and you're forced to use the people to undo the thing close to the end, it's such a good story beat in a video game. The final entry in this list, and my favorite video game of all time, is one that offers so much more than just unique gameplay and an incredible story. The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask is not just a game, but an entire experience. The impending doom looming over Termina is always felt throughout your entire playthrough, from the NPCs who ignore the moon staring them in the face to those who have already lost everything and embrace their inevitable end. The overall feeling of death, grief, and despair is such a unique feeling to experience on the N64, and none did it better than this game. The gameplay is also super unique. I know the 3-day time limit can turn plenty of people away, but I found it to be such a novel idea that really facilitates having each little decision the player makes feel substantial and important. The concept of different masks changing up the movement and attack capabilities of Link is also super unique and was a complete shift from the predecessor game, Ocarina of Time. And one of the most interesting parts of Majora's Mask is the story of how it was developed. I like to compare it to a more modern franchise as an example, Fallout. Fallout New Vegas was a game that was made in a very short span of time out of the game that it was based on and succeeded, Fallout 3. Similar to this situation, Majora's Mask was made in only about a year by reusing much of its predecessor game, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. And just the fact that one of my favorite pieces of media and my absolute favorite game of all time could be made in such a short period of time absolutely blows my mind. Thanks for watching my video. Again, we are primarily anime and manga channel, but I want to expand our horizons into other forms of media, so I really appreciate you taking the time to indulge my other ideas. If you like this style of video and would like to see more, please be sure to attack that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to Diet Weeb for more content uploaded on hopefully a more consistent basis now. Sorry for my brief hiatus. I've been very busy in my personal life and I hadn't found the time to post until now. I am working on plenty more videos now though, so please keep your eyes peeled for more.